He stood in front of the camera, speaking calmly about his love for his family. Days later, investigators reached one conclusion. He was the person responsible. This is the case of Chris Watts. Chris Watts lived in Colorado with his wife, Shanann Watts, and their two daughters, Bella and Celeste. From the outside, their life looked ideal. Family photos, smiles, a quiet suburban home. Shanann was also pregnant with their third child. Nothing appeared wrong, at least on the surface. One morning, Shanann stopped responding to messages. She missed appointments. Her phone went silent. A close friend felt something was wrong and contacted the police. Chris told officers he didn't know where his family was. But inside the house, everything was still there. It didn't look like anyone had planned to leave. Soon after, Chris appeared on local television asking for his family to return. Viewers noticed something unsettling. His emotions felt disconnected. He rarely mentioned his children by name. His body language appeared tense and rehearsed. Public suspicion began to grow. Investigators reviewed security footage from a neighbor's camera. It showed Chris moving back and forth outside his home early that morning, loading items into his vehicle. No one else was seen leaving. This footage became a turning point. As the investigation continued, police uncovered another detail. Chris had been involved in an extramarital relationship. Friends noticed changes in his behavior. He spoke about feeling trapped, about wanting a fresh start. Pressure began to close in. Chris was brought in for questioning. At first, he denied everything. Then his story began to shift. Details didn't line up. Timelines changed. Investigators realized they were not hearing the truth. Eventually, Chris admitted what had happened. Without graphic detail, one fact became clear. The person closest to the victims was responsible. The confession shocked the public, not because of how it happened, but because of who did it. A quiet man, a familiar face, a father. Chris Watts was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The case became a global example of deception, hidden lives, and how danger can exist behind ordinary appearances. This case reminds us that evil doesn't always look frightening. Sometimes it looks normal, calm, trustworthy. And that is what makes it so difficult to see until it's too late.